Well, good evening, everyone. They said it would never happen, but it has. We're back in the same room at the same time. Well, same virtual room. Welcome to Studio Rats Q&A Live number 164. My name's James Ivey.
I'm Paul Drew, and I don't think anyone has said it would never happen.
Well, it was funny. I have to apologise because at some point I may start to dribble because I've had some fairly major dental work this afternoon. So I still feel like my jaw's out here somewhere, and drinking out of a bottle is quite frankly hilarious. So cheers, everyone.
Are we drinking?
This is Banks Amber Bitter.
That's like a Lidl special or something.
It is actually 98p a bottle, 98p a pint.
Jesus.
And it's quite drinkable because it's not, the ABV is quite low, I think. 3.8. So it's what I believe they would call a session ale.
Or a cooking beer.
Cooking beer.
Absolutely. 3.8%. Oh, is it even worth it? Where's it from? Is that like a Lidl's thing?
It's no, it's a generic one. You can get it in Lidl's and Tesco's and all of them, but it's one of those ones that they all fight to keep really low in price. So it's always under a pound a pint.
That's got to be like sewage water or something in that. Is that
as ever, you are very welcome along to our annual analysis of what we're all drinking. It's been a while since I've done one of these with you. What have you been up to?
We did this last week.
No, you didn't. I was on my own.
Oh yeah.
I was on my own. Yeah.
What have been up to?
You were off in the Isle of Wight.
Oh yeah.
We were like ships that pass.
Yes. What I've been up to? So we've got builders in at the moment, and it's driving me nuts. I've got some new gear that's turned up.
Nice.
Some bits and pieces for review, which we'll go over in a minute. What else? There's nothing else. I think it's all been. Oh no, we've got a new ToneX packs coming out.
Yes, very excited about that.
It's good.
Very hard on that, and we can officially tell you about it because I've had the okay from IK that we can tell you about it.
Hey, there we go. And I went on holiday.
Nice.
Came back.
didn't want to do any work like the rest of us.
Yeah. It's quite hard. Well, I can't at the moment. I mean, I did a video today because I've been sent this overdrive pedal that's rather nice. I'll show in a minute. And I was doing a video, and literally every time I spoke, it was almost comical. It was like every time I opened my mouth, it was just like. But it stops, and you go right. Exactly the same.
You know, that's what we hear until you open your mouth.
Pretty much. What have you been up to?
So it's been a good week. After last week's solo effort from me, we've put a couple of videos on the new channel, and the new channel, the link is down there. TSR Jivey Talks Tech. So if you haven't liked and subscribed and all those sort of things, please do. It's a bit drummy at the minute, but I promise it won't stay that way for long. I've got loads of plugin stuff I want to talk about, and tech stuff, and various companies are sending me stuff to talk about. So yeah, it's gonna be very, very broad church, which is good. Not just guitars, pedals, and amps, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what the other channel's for. And it's all up and running now. It's happy. It's there. So please like, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. Both the two videos we've got up so far, everyone's loving it, which is great. Not many people are loving it, but everyone who's watched it has liked it. So it's good. It's good. Trying to get a load of stuff done. And then various companies I'm working with are throwing me things last minute that they need tomorrow, you know.
I do.
But yeah, busy. Got rehearsals tomorrow with Gregoire and Sam and Josh for a show we're doing in a couple of weeks. Got a gig at the weekend, which will be quite nice. And try to do, you know, the last couple of weeks of school holiday stuff, get as much going in with the kids as we can. So yeah, it is good. I'm looking forward to the weekend because hopefully the weather's still going to stay fine. So yeah. Nice. It's all good. We'll get on to things ToneX and gear in a minute, but let's start powering our way through some of these questions and comments and stuff. As ever, I have put a link to the show in the questions and comments bit. So if you're available and you fancy coming and joining us in the show, please do so.
Oh, yes.
But we start with the Soap Forge. Boom.
Mr. Soapy Forge says, I have 10 pedals on my board. GE Mini Fuzz, first, so that's first, into a buffered Crowler Hot Cake Rat Boost Drive pedal thing, ending with a Tumnus Deluxe buffer on. Nice. True bypass pedals, 6 true bypass pedals after. Do I use a buffer at the end? I like buffers. I don't think it makes any difference. Stick a buffer at the end. Have a lovely time. I mean, you've got a lot of pedals on your board. 10 pedals on a board.
To be honest, when I had my preamp board built,
yeah,
I had a lot of pedals on there, and the buffer at the end really, really, really helped.
Yeah. I mean, 6. I don't know. I mean, I would try it. It really does depend. You know, no one worries.
Try it without. It can't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would probably just go and get one of those TC Electronic. What are they called? The thing I gave you.
Hang on a second.
Buffer, true buffer, whatever it's called.
It's called a
true buffer, something like that. TC Electronics. It's a little mini pedal.
Yeah, TC a Bonner buffer, Boner buffer, or whatever it's called.
Boner, yeah. Boner buffer. I think it's Bonner buffer, but I like Boner buffer's funny. Yeah, it's a little mini pedal. You stick it
like end. A mini pedal sized,
30 quid. Perfect. So glad to make this one, miss the last one. It's a pleasure having you, mate. Al says, hi guys, hope you are well. Mr. Abraham, you were right. These jet guitars are brilliant for the money. Picked up the JS 450 last week and I'm gobsmacked with the Qualitar. I don't know how they do it. Nice one, Al. Great.
I don't think any of us know how they're doing it, to be honest.
No, absolutely. Tony says, hello everyone, glad to be able to make it today. My wife was just admiring my guitar collection. Hold on.
Oh, that's dangerous.
What? How did this happen? And commented that I didn't have a bass and should get one. She's a keeper for sure.
Wow. Yes.
I think what I would do is go and forget buying a bass. Go and get like a baritone or something and just tell her it's a bass. That's what I would do. And
if you're going to buy a bass, it's either a Fender Jazz or a Fender P.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I've got
probably a jazz because they are more versatile.
Yeah. I like jazz bass. I need to get rid of my bass. It's sat there.
Have you still got that 5-string jazz?
Yeah. And I mean, ideally, I'd go and get a precision or a 4-string jazz. That's what I would have. I don't know what I've got. I bought it off Dan Hawkins. And do
you remember him? Or depending on your style and depending on your budget, those Sire basses are amazing.
Yeah, again, it's like a jazz bass, I guess. Other than that, my favorite bass is a Music Man.
But generally more money. Even the subs but they're not the same. I mean, a Music Man's a great. I'd like a Music Man.
A Music Man. A Music Man.
Stingray.
Stingray, is that expensive? Let me have a quick look.
Quite a lot of money.
When you do the next, I'll have a quick look.
Well, I was about to say, Bogeyman's involved.
Okay. Thanks, mate. He says, I've been spending, and it's TSR's fault. And bought ToneX pedal. Nice. Delvo. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
And UA Volt 2. Is that thing there that I've got on there? No, that's a Max. What's a Volt 2?
Don't know. Is that one of the new ones?
Fantastic Stones. It must be, yeah. Fantastic Stones tones so far. Thanks for the inspirational videos. Next up, buying TSR packs. Oh, thanks, mate. Nice one. Well done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'd say we'll get on to what's coming next shortly because we can officially talk about it, which is great.
Can I say, well, can I just say that the so I'm looking up Stingray basses. The pack that I thought would do well, which is the Buddha.
Yep.
It hasn't done that well.
No, we knew the Matchbox pack would do well, obviously.
Yeah.
But the Buddha, the Chime pack has done well as well. That's the silver face and the black face has done. But the Buddha has not done well at all.
So how much can you pick a Music Man Stingray up for?
£1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't think that's not bad. That's the
no,
price
that's,
of a Mexican of a brand new Mexican. I'd much rather have that.
yeah, definitely.
Much
So,
okay. Mississippi Blue says, "Evening Rats and everyone, love that new strat you got, Paul. Cheers, Mississippi." Yeah, no, I'm really pleased with that actually.
does sound nice, but you've now got 3 strats though, Paul.
Yeah, well, one's not really.
I know one's not really a strat, but
yeah, no, I'm happy with that actually, and I love the other one, so I don't want to get rid of. I'm getting quite into strats at the moment.
Ooh, says the telly man.
Oh no! I mean, Telly's always number one, but no, yeah, I'm enjoying them.
Cool.
I'm trying to think what the next thing is to pass on and swap for something else. Al says, however, I'll probably end up putting a Thornbuckle V63 in it. Nice.
Very nice.
Send up a wheelchair. He says, love Wednesdays. Thank you guys. By the way, fantastic video on the Relic Strat. I didn't used to understand Relic guitars, but I love they're definitely growing on me. And honestly, I would have all my guitars as relics if I could.
Nice.
Jeff says, greetings from Brisbane. He says, I hope everyone's well. Heather and shoulders. Heather had surgery and is in a lot of pain. So all is good here.
Moving on.
Tony Howie says, hi guys, first time here. Hi Tony, welcome.
You're very welcome.
Sophie's in the house. Hi Sophie. He says, good evening, Paul and James and everyone, and you, Sophie. Travis, he says, hello gents from South Carolina. Jeff Cook, a Chase Bliss preamp Mark II automaton arrived yesterday.
Nice.
I've used one. Has Paul had a go? No, I only bought it to watch the sliders move by themselves. It's magic.
We have played around with one because
I've tried one.
We have tried one.
Clive's got one.
Yes,
Clive. It was Clive.
Yeah,
I used it. I don't remember actually going through it.
Yeah, we had a brief play. I mean, it wasn't deep. Well, I didn't dive into it because I just thought this sounds good. The amps sound good too.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yes, I forgot I have tried one. Soapforge had a broken tooth for 2 months. Ooh, finally got removed. Feel your pain. So much better now having the tooth ripped out. Ironically. Okay.
Yeah, mine. I won't go into too much detail, but it was an hour and a half of brutality, and I've got another hour and a quarter to go on the other side next month.
Nasty.
Yes.
Nasty. Sheps. Yeah, he said evening all, evening Shep. Mark's Gas, he says, hello everyone. Hello, Mark's Gas. Nectarius, he says, Ian gents, I bought an MXR M300 reverb. Nice. Thanks to Paul's video, and I love it. I need a simple tube combo to play clean arpeggios rhythm parts. Would I need anything more than a Pro Junior? No.
I've got a lovely.
I would guess by Nectarius's name that he's probably not from the UK.
No, probably.
No, mate, no. Pro Junior would do lovely jubblies.
Yeah.
Good thing about the MXR reverb is that it's stereo as well. So if you get 2 amps, you can then put it out to both amps.
Nice.
Funky Bass, evening all. Good to see Paul and Jivey both back together today. Thank you, Funky. Dave Rose, Bonafide.
Bonafide. Yes.
Ah, it's much more fun calling it Boner. Kids. Jack R, love the Relic Strap, Paul, as I've said a lot. Cheers, Jack. Evening, guys. Evening, Chris. Al says, Paul, not given one of them Catalyst amps. Oh, sorry. I haven't got my glass on. Paul got given one of them Catalyst amps to demo last week and to do a video review. Interested to know your thoughts on it. I've never tried one, actually.
I tried one at the guitar show last year.
Yeah.
It was a bit nonplussed.
Well, it's basically, I think we can basically say it's a Line 6 Spider. It's Line 6's new Spider, isn't it?
Yeah, which is a bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't tried one. I'd like to try one. I'd like to do a demo against the katana and then sort of compare them. But it's there's only so many hours in a day.
Yes, indeed. Especially when you've got going in the background.
Well, I mean, that's next week, end of next week, it'll be gone. My wife's opposite says, look at all that gear.
I do get a certain amount of that, especially when it spills out from here into the house.
Tony says, thanks for the suggestion on the baritone Music Man Messiah. I will let you know about my selection on a future live stream. Nice one, Tony. Front row guitar, an early Jim Deacon P bass from 1990s, £100 on eBay. Set up well is all you need.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. Does he mean Jim Deacon or does he mean John Deacon?
No, I think maybe Jim Deacon is a make. I don't know. I've never heard of Jim.
Okay.
I was trying.
But we're a bit bass numpties, to be honest.
Yeah. Not enough strings. Pit Trap. Oh, check out that doggy. That's a nice looking doggy, that. He said, evening all. Is it true that the first ToneX pack has been redone in better quality? And if so, as a buyer of the first pack, how can I get it?
No, it's not true at all.
Hold on. Hold on a second.
No, but it's not. So you put three patches on, didn't you? You put three free patches on Tone Exchange.
No. So, okay. So we sold a pack on the Studio Rex website.
Yes.
No, all of that was done using the I've forgotten the name.
The advanced algorithm.
No. It's not better quality at all. There's nothing about that at all.
They are different. The only thing that we did do consciously was the first 3 freebies that Paul put up on ToneNet in the free category were done with the medium setting, weren't they?
That was the first time we ever gave away some free patches.
Yes.
Done on the medium setting. Yes.
And then, but all the other stuff we've done has been in the advanced setting, the one that takes 2 hours to cook. And if you have the pack that we put out that was available on our website, not the stuff that's via IK's ToneX, ToneNet, it is different. They are different amps, different settings, different patches. Don't think that we're trying to sell the same thing in 2 different places. We're not trying to pull the wool on anybody's eyes or anything like that.
No. We haven't got time.
Definitely not. We haven't got time to face the backlash, is the honest answer.
Yeah, that's true as well. Walter Rosato, what's that? That's like
that's a Luke.
It is a Luke, isn't it?
Yes.
Who?
A Luke.
A Luke 2?
Yeah, anyway. with EMGs.
It's got EMGs. It might be one then. Oh, it is, yeah. Hey guys, what would be the best pickups to sound like the 80s? Mate, you've already got it sussed on that guitar there. It's exactly EMGs for the 80s.
What there's that is it a Valley Arts guitar? The other one, the other Lukather one, the one with the girl who's that's a beautiful guitar.
The girl, I don't know the girl one. He used to be a Valley Arts artist, and
it looks like a Strat, but it's got a girl strewn across it, and it's all the artwork is beautiful. But I'm sure
I think you'll find that was just a one-off. No, his other Valley Arts guitars were all just like they're all like really highly figured quilted maple, heavy bloody things.
Right.
Nice, thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, if you like Floyd Roses.
Yeah, EMGs all the way if you want to sound like the 80s.
Yeah, if you want to sound, I really like EMG pickups. They got a lot of stick. Yeah, just go EMG. You've got it on that guitar there. It's perfect.
It looks like a Luke, and if it's HSS with EMGs, that's a beautiful guitar.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That. Lim, he says, "Greeting, folks from Virginia."
Okay.
Came out all right, didn't it? Bogeyman, Paul, are you going to do a video on the UA FX Max compressor or the new 1176 perhaps? Might be one of my next purchases. Thinking the 1176 It's enough feature wise. So I've got the Max on my board, and I really like it. I thought I saw a couple of videos on the 1176. We're talking about this later on, I think. Yes, we are. I think, and Greg brought up a good point, because I think Greg put in our little chat between the three of us. He said,
team chat, yeah,
he said, for a little bit more than this, you can go and buy a Origin Effects tally.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, do you know what? Yes, and I think I would rather have that. Don't get me wrong, the Max, I really like the Max. The Max is brilliant, but the Max is slightly different because it's got the preamps built in, or the emulations of the preamps built in. So
the other compression pedal that should not be forgotten about is the what they called Dark Glass Effects compressor pedal. Oh my god, that's good! And it's I know theoretically it's they're a company that make bass products, but my god, that pedal is good. And the 1176 mode in it is awesome, and it gives you an opto and a.
But again, it's another digital pedal.
Yes, yeah.
I would imagine. I'd imagine it's a digital pedal. So personally, I mean, I don't know that pedal, and I've never seen any guitar players with that on their board.
No, I know, because it was one of those pedals they made, and everyone went, "This is brilliant," but nobody bought it.
I think that tells you something to me. I think if everyone says this is brilliant, nobody bought it, it's not brilliant.
Yeah. Well, hey. If UA send us the new pedals, which we should reach out to them and get them to send them over.
Yeah, definitely. I think I will do a video on the Max.
Mm-hmm.
The Max is, yeah, I'll do a video on the Max. I'll do a video on the Max, and then you can see that, because it's the Max. I think is really good. It just takes up a lot of space on your board.
But we should reach out to UA about the new pedals as well. We just should.
There we go.
And at this point,
Mr. Davis, he says, "Thank you very much, mate. $10. He's giving us. Thank you. That's very kind of you, mate."
And
Centre for Wheelchair Pillow, he says, "Cheers." Thank you, Centre for Wheelchair Pillow. He says, "Cheers. What's the difference with studio monitors and audiophile speakers? Why are monitors better for producing and recording?" That's a really good question. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo with
there's
speakers.
a lot of hype in there, isn't there?
There's a lot of hype. So traditionally, audiophile speakers or just home hi-fi speakers, there really is no difference. The idea for studio monitors, is that they're flat. Okay, so you don't get any hyped frequencies. So what you hear is exactly what is being produced. Very much based on the room that you're in as well, because that makes far more of a difference than any of that sort of stuff.
I was thinking it's worth saying that generally hi-fi speakers are designed to make the audio sound as good as it possibly can, versus studio monitors are designed to reproduce exactly what's going into them.
Yes.
So you can then make the decisions on how you tweak the sound in order to
definitely. I personally think if you had any pair of speakers that you liked and you got used to, you can mix on them. It's what you're used to, the room you're in. I mean, you see it like when I was recording in Abbey Road, they had the big. Have you seen what the big, really big speakers with the pointy bits that stick out of them?
Quested?
No, they're sort of floor mounted speakers. They're huge things.
Bowers and Wilkins.
Are they Bowers and Wilkins? Yeah.
With the little dome, the little bullet on top with the long.
That's the one. That's the one.
They're mastering speakers, really, but they're hi-fi. They are high-end hi-fi.
Exactly.
I'd love a set of those at $100,000 a pair.
It's ridiculous. There is so much bullshit in. I mean, don't even get me started with audiophile stuff. It is.
I've mixed
bullshit on a mega
I mixed an album on a Sony 5.1 acoustic master, with a sub and the little tiny speakers, because I knew that I did it in a cabin on a ship, because I knew that rig so well. Yeah. I knew what I was going to get.
Right, brilliant. Brilliant.
And it came out really, really well because I knew the speakers.
Yeah. But don't you think with audiophile stuff, it's guys that have got too much money and that's their hobby, and they think they can hear the difference between gold plated cables and something else and a different plug, and it's absolutely ridiculous. You never hear of any engineers ever saying that that's true.
My late stepfather had a great phrase for it. He said, "How high is your phi, Nance?"
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
pretty much. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
But hey, I'm not going to say to someone, "Don't spend £100 on speaker cable," or "Don't spend 10 grand on speaker cable." Totally up to you. I'm saying I don't think it's worth it.
I definitely think it's worth it. Steve Bull says, "Good evening, gents." Good evening, Steve Bull. Lee's in the house. He said, "Top of the morning or evening," and to you, mate. Mr. McQuillan, he says, "Good evening, all. Hope everyone is well." And to you, mate. Go and check out David's.
I haven't got any here.
Oh no.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Go and check out David's fab plectrums that he sells on Reverb. There you go. Highland Plectrum Company. Search for that on Reverb. Come buy some lovely plectrums. They're brilliant.
You will not be upset if you do.
Not upset. David Ashcroft said, "Evening, everyone. Hope you're all good." And you, David. Dave Bruce. Hello, guys. Waiting for your comments on the latest offering from Gibson. Is this the Rick Beato?
Oh, I don't know.
If it's not, David, let us know and I'll look it up, because if I got that, I think I've got that
in the news.
Okay, yeah, I think I have got that. If it's something different to that, let us know. Warm greetings, from Lebanon, Paul. Oh, nice one, Nebs. Paul, can you name one guitar that got away and wish you had? Yes, I had one of the early Gibson Heritage, I think they were called, or Historic.
Mm-hmm.
It was Gibson Custom Shop before Custom Shop,
right?
And it was a 59 burst, and it was unbelievable. It was brilliant, and I wasn't really into Gibsons, and I decided to sell it. What a dick!
I was at the London Guitar Show, or Birmingham Guitar Show, one of those, and one of the dealers from up north had a load of secondhand stock, and I was going through, and there was a Gary Moore signature Les Paul, and he said, "Oh, I'd let you have it for 1,700." And I went, "I really, really want it. And I still really, really wanted it, but I just didn't have the cash."
Mm.
And then, of course, it went, for obvious reasons, it would have gone through the roof in price.
Oh yeah,
gutted, absolutely gutted.
Curtis, he says, "What's the subject today?" Sadly, just got here. We're just sort of mincing around, mate. To be honest, it's covering as much as possible. EMG P90 size, worth it for a Les Paul Junior style guitar, or look elsewhere? That's quite a specific pickup.
That's quite chalk and cheese as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'd say a friend of mine, when I first started gigging, had a telly with P90 EMGs on, and it sounded amazing because a telly is quite a bright sounding guitar anyway.
I've never tried them. I've never tried the P90s, EMG P90s.
Oh my god, that sounded so good.
Oh,
but it's super bright on a Les Paul style guitar. It's kind of. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but it's different.
That sounds good to me. I wonder if that would work. Are the EMG P90s, are they active?
Oh
wow.
Yes. Yeah.
I know nothing about them, to be honest.
Oh, so on this telly, I remember thinking he had the most amazing. He had a white 335 that had been customized with black EMG actives on.
Oh god.
Humbuckers, and he had a the George Harrison.
Hey mate, guy obviously has no taste whatsoever from that last guitar you just mentioned.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
EMG humbuckers in a 335.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
Yeah. Oh god.
Cut into a Fender Twin. You cut glass with the thing.
Oh no.
He had a Fender Twin and a Mark II Boogie as well, and it was like, you know, amazing rig.
Jeff says, I bought a Scarlett i8, 18i8 interface to replace my 2i2 because 2 inputs obviously won't do wet, dry, wet. How do you rate the Scarlett stuff? There seems a good balance between price and features. Yeah, I think they're good stuff.
It's great. If it's the Mark III Scarlett stuff, and if you bought it new, it will be. They're really good. You know, the Focusrite software driver control panel thing can be a little fiddly to get your head round, but once you have, you know, like anything, it's going to have a bit of a learning curve. But yeah, great. Preamp wise and converters wise, I've got no problem there at all.
Absolutely great. Anista says, do you actually use ToneX or Fractal even though?
I'm just trying to find if he's got. I can't see anything else. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Boom.
Okay. Do you actually use ToneX or Fractal even though you have real amps? Okay. I think you like ToneX, but do you still use amp modelers or Fractal? So yes, I don't switch on my amps. I think so. Yes, I've got my Fractal down here. I've got my XFX 3 down there, and my ToneX pedals on my board. And sometimes I use them together. So I might use the Fractal for the effects and the ToneX for the amp tones. Yeah. So, and I don't know if you've got a smart meter at home.
Yeah, damn right. That's the real reason.
When I put my matches on all day, and I'm doing stuff, there's a big difference in the amount of electricity it's costing me. And because I've captured that inside the ToneX pedal, I just go, why do I need to switch it on?
I say I've got behind me in the rack of destiny now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 valve amp heady type things.
Yeah.
If I have the whole lot on, my meter tries to take off. Even with the solar panels on the house, if it's sunny, I can do it all off the solar. But
also, that's another thing. If the amount of heat that a valve amp produces as well is massive. Yeah. Like in a small room, you know, if it's a hot day, you've got a valve amp cranked. It's creating a lot of heat.
Newer valve amps don't seem to suffer quite so badly, but certainly that Fender Bassman.
Yeah. No, I think it depends on the. I don't think it's a new old thing. I mean, my match gets hot. It's really divided by 13s as well. They in the racks they put fans in the racks.
Right.
In the heads.
Right.
Wow.
Interesting. But yes, also, we own real amps, but I end up using the ToneX software because it's so good.
Yeah. Ryan says, hey guys, I loved your ME90 demo. I'm curious if you've had the chance to compare the sounds to the old ME80. I haven't actually. I love the layout of the 80, but felt the amps and drives could have been better. Cheers. So I'm doing a whole preset pack. Boss have asked me to do a whole preset pack. I'm doing about 25 presets for them. So it's going to be downloaded for free on the Boss website.
Nice.
Hopefully by the end of the month. It might just be after, because at the moment, I'd like to get to my ME90. It's in my garage, or my kitchen. The kitchen which just been delivered is in the garage, and I can't get to anything. I was an idiot. I didn't put things in the right places.
Oh, bless you.
Safety says Empress compressor is excellent, but the Effectrode tube comp is magical. There we go.
We love that.
Tony says, you may not want this to be the ToneX channel, but I do love the pedal. The selection of amps and cabs has given some dusty guitars a new lease of life. Nice. They pair great with amps I would have never had. Nice.
I think that's the thing. That for a couple of bucks, As I say, I'm not saying you have to buy our patches.
No, not at all.
We have spent a lot of time and energy and effort making them sound as good as they possibly can. But if you're willing to throw a couple of quid at a new amp model and you think, I've never had an AC30, let's try the Chime pack. I've never had a Buddha, let's try the Deity pack. If you don't like it, it's not the end of the world. One of the reasons we tried to keep the price of our packs under $20 is because it isn't the end of the world. If you go, I don't really like it. It's one of those things. It might come in. It'll be handy if you never use it. However, an AC30, I think, has got a place in everyone's studio and parts and stuff. And my God, that thing sounds good. And some of the new patches we've done sound really cool as well.
Yeah, so we've got the new divided by 13 on there as well. So,
and
yes, but I'm really.
Was it a minute?
Yeah, really glad you're into the ToneX, mate. Lee says, I need a compressor masterclass. I understand what they do and what you use them for, but just don't like it when I use one. You see, I think the thing about compressors is everyone goes, and it's like literally it's.
That's how much compression. See, Paul and I's take on compression is often very different, but I think on guitars, our take on compression is very similar.
Yeah, I'll grab 2 compressor pedals in the last sort of settings that I've got. So I'll show you that one. Will that come on?
It's going to focus now. There, it's coming. It's coming. There we go.
So you've got. I'm looking at you've got level. It's everything's back to front. Sustain, level, blend, which is like a mix. So I've got like that compressor is on next to nothing. Sustain's on. God, this is painful, isn't it?
It looks about 11 o'clock. 10:30, 11 o'clock.
It's just above. It's like 3 if you want, and then I've got my blend, which is the mix control, about sort of 4. So there's hardly any compression going on. There's the mix control there.
Yeah.
And same with my SP compressor. I've got a blend controller. If you look at that one, is that coming in focus?
Yeah, it's now. Yeah.
It's on.
That's on 9 o'clock. That's hardly on.
Yeah, it's hardly on. It just adds. If you're using it with, sometimes if I'm using it with overdrive, the compressors get switched off because you're already compressing.
Yeah.
The overdrive.
The nature of adding harmonic content through a drive or a distortion, it means you're going to compress the signal. You're compressing the signal. You're evening it out. The only time I use really heavy compression on a guitar part is if I want that chug 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 thing, and I want the compressor to do that around the chug. Oh,
interesting. See, I wouldn't use a compressor on that sort of sound. That's interesting. But the only time I'd use a compressor on that setting is if I was DIing. You want that Corey Wong sort of.
Yeah. Type. Super. Like plug straight into the desk, compress it so you know what. And the other thing about compressors, when you've got attack and release settings, to me, that's where you learn compression. As soon as you start messing with attack and release times, that's where a tone of a compressor is. Not in the threshold or the ratio.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, for me, it's 99% of the time it's attack on more or less the slowest and release on the quickest.
Yeah. Whereas a lot of people do the other around, and then you end up with a super compressed.
It's pumped. That just pumps too much.
That's horrible.
I hate that.
Maybe there is a video there. Maybe there's a video for you, and maybe there's one for guitar on one on.
Maybe I'll bring you a compressor. I think Lee's got a gig on Sunday that I might be going to, so I might bring him a compressor to try out.
Cool. All
right. Curtis Chavez says, "Is it fairly simple to make a 6 to 8 pedal board using Chuck's power supply?"
Yes, it is. They're brilliant power supplies.
I've never used one. So James, I think is that ADG Chuck's?
It is, yeah, and they're awesome.
Okay, there we go.
Again, depending on the model you get, you can get adapter blocks that make it more powerful or whatever. But yeah, they're really nice, really, really clean, really good sounding.
Nice.
Or rather, they don't sound. That's the whole point. Have we done that one?
Done that one.
Boom. There we go.
Matt's here from Distant Sun. He says, "Hi everyone, hope that you're all doing well. A plugin of the Strymon Deco tape emulation showed up on my YouTube channel. Have you seen this yet? It's all in the news. It's in the news.
In the news.
David Ashcroft, I'm changing the tremolo on my Tokai Stratford Wilkinson pushing arm trim similar to Paul's swap on the Fender Custom Shop. Was considering either a zinc, steel, or brass trem block. Options otherwise. I've never messed around with tone blocks, with trem blocks. So I wouldn't know, but I would probably say, look, I mean, I think a brass saddles on a Telecaster sound great, and you can hear the difference. So I'd probably go for brass, but you're probably going to suffer with the weight.
I would have said as well, steel are going to sound super bright like steel frets do, and this is educated guess territory rather than fact.
Right.
But zinc's going to be super light and super spangy because as I had zinc hoops on a snare, and my God, you could cut steel with it.
But yeah, I think with this, I think with which is different to a snare is more the sustain of it.
Yeah, well, zinc won't have any sustain. It's all about the attack.
Right, that's interesting.
That would be my assumption. That steel will be super bright, zinc will be super attacky, and brass will be the more mellow because it's a softer material.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, interesting.
Again, that's my assumption from
never tried
about those materials, but I've never tried it.
No, I've never tried. I've never tried messing around with them. Bogey said, just a thought. Tone Man has the option to create an affiliate link, something for the channel. Thanks, mate.
Yep, we are investigating all those sort of things because as much as I don't necessarily like affiliate links, if we can make a couple of quid because you're buying the stuff anyway, fine. But Gregoire is currently investigating all those sort of things for us. Right. Because obviously, if you're in the US, you're probably not going to order from Toman, but you might order from Sweetwater or Guitar Center or something like that. And all of those companies do have affiliate links.
There we go.
So we're on that. But thank you.
Senator Wheelchair says audiophile gear. D1CK measuring between rich folks with too much money and spare time.
Don't get me wrong. When someone says, I've spent $100,000 on speakers, and I have heard some Dyne Audio speakers that were silly money, I went, my God, these sound good. And they had Bricasti monoblock power amps, because obviously Bricasti not only do reverbs, they also do power amps.
Yeah.
And my God, it sounded good with like these enormously huge, chunky bound cables and stuff. And I was like, it sounds really good because this room, it's £1 million room. Would it sound that good in my front room? Probably not.
No. John Randall says, and preference question, master max with preamp volume to taste or preamp volume with master taste? Master, but you're never going to get, it's still not going to be right unless you can't compensate one with the other.
Because you're not going to get the gain. Generally, it's if you want to achieve the same volume but different tones, you would have your gain up to your input gain on full to get distortion and your master volume down to get the volume sensible, or you have it the other way around. You have your input gain low to get a clean channel, a clean sound, and your master volume up to compensate, which is why both Paul and I like our load boxes.
Yeah, it's basically it's starving or overloading. That you've got to think of it like that. So if you have your preamp volume down and your master volume up, you're starving the power tubes because they're not getting the input level into the power tubes, and you can think of it the other way around as well. So it's honestly it makes such a massive difference just getting everything sorted. But if you had to choose, which is the question he's asking, I think it depends what you're doing. If you've got pedals, I'd probably go master up. But I don't think there's ever you're compromising on everything.
And also, if you've got a low powered amp, you can drive the master harder and not worry about offending the neighbours 3 doors down.
Yeah, I'd probably then. Oh, okay, so I'd probably say if it's a good master volume, the master down. But there's nothing like a decent power soak.
But I mean, but everyone says, "Oh my god, your Marshall sounds so good." My Marshall XYZ doesn't sound as good as that. The reason a Marshall sounds like a Marshall sounds is because you have to get the power amp tubes cooking.
Yeah.
That's when they sound amazing.
Without doubt.
And to do that, you either have to have a big empty room like this one, because when Paul and I did that ridiculous, let's turn up a JCM 900 and hurt ourselves. Then you have to have a power soak or like an Ox or a what they call Capture X or any of those sort of load boxes.
Yeah, get a load box. It's way more. Your amp will come to life.
Yeah, definitely.
Dave Bruce, yes. I don't know what the S is for, but thank you.
Yes.
Curtis says audiophile gear. Us really like drag racing. It's a balance between performance versus price. How fast you want to go, how much you want to spend. Well, it's not even that. I don't even think it's how fast you want to go. It's people telling themselves that they can hear the difference in stuff. And we've all done it. We've all spent a lot of money on something and gone, oh my god, yeah, this is so much better than I thought. And if you actually sit down and think about it, it's the same with a lot of interfaces where like you can go and spend 10 grand on an interface, you can go and spend $1 grand on an interface, and there'll be people telling you how how great this thing sounds. And really, if you played it next year with interfaces, you go.
I think there's an argument there that says I've got this theory, and humour me if you will. Imagine a 1 meter ruler, 100 centimeters, like a meter stick, and at centimeter 1 and 2 is where we all started with 4-track tape machines, and cassette to cassette hopping and all that sort of stuff. It sounds terrible. And at the top end, 100 centimeters is Abbey Road, Capitol, any what's Mark Knopfler's place? Pick the best studios in the world.
Yeah.
Most of us with a reasonable budget can get to about 90 centimeters along that audio route. But that last 10 centimeters is not gear. It's not quality kit. It's not what they're using. It's infrastructure, techs, all the stuff that we don't have. It's the space. So while you might be saying, and I'm getting back to the topic.
I'm not sure I understand.
I'm getting back to the subject. I'm not sure I understand either half the time. While the kit that you spend your money on is important, it isn't as important as actually the space you're in. That is by far the most important thing.
The room is way more important than any of this stuff.
So, let's not pretend that these days a Behringer interface for a couple £100 doesn't sound really, really, really good. They do. A UA interface for a couple more £100 sounds really, really good. An Antelope, a Focusrite, whoever, they all sound really good. And there's a reason why, because they've all got the same chips in them. Because that's what's available. It comes down to workflow, and yeah, the preamp circuit might be slightly different on one model to another. Great. But it does come down to workflow, what you like, and effectively which brand you want to get behind.
Absolutely.
And how much money you've got. But the money you've got, if you can't make, and in Paul and I's end of things, the sharp end of the industry, if we can't make a decent recording on a Focusrite interface or a Behringer interface, we probably can't make a good recording, because they all sound really good.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can get a good sound with any piece of equipment. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get a bad sound with every piece of equipment. So it's what it's saying. Funk bass, not an audiophile, but I've got a blag into the high-end section of a guitar shop here. Tried £100,000 worth of custom shop guitars yesterday. Nice. There was a 60th anniversary 59 Les Paul reissue Glorious. Nice.
Oh, yes.
Damn.
Very nice. I'd like that.
Very nice. Lord Brancy said, "Good evening, Studio Rats. Did you know there's a mathematical formula for how many guitars you need?" Answer: current stock plus one. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Just don't go looking around here too much.
Yeah. Mr. Moxie's in the house. He said, "Evening, Rats, and to the rest. And to you, mate. Hope you're well." Curtis Chavez says, "Hello, hello." I think Curtis has already been.
Yes, yeah, I think so.
He's already, yeah. Mick says, "Good evening, gents. Have you had any experience with vintage guitars, in particular the V100? Recently bought one, and after I did a bit of a setup, I find it really, really good. Nice.
Vintage guitars are great.
Yeah, Greg's got a couple of vintage, hasn't he?
He has. He's got a vintage Strat type thing. That Relic Strat he's got is vintage. Really good guitars.
I think vintage 20 years ago, very different to the vintage guitars now.
Yes, but you could say the same about
Squire.
Harley Benson 10 years ago.
And Squire, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Katana, a penny an hour to run. Look at that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Centre for Wheelchair, he says, "How do you guys like the Synergy Morgan AC module? I have one, but not a real Vox. Wondering if I'm close enough." I've never tried the. Have I tried the AC?
I haven't got the Morgan one.
No, I don't.
The Synergy modules are really good.
They're really good.
They sound great. The only thing is you're not going to get the same power amp drive, because obviously there is only one. There's in the Sin 30 that I've got that you had. I can't remember what the power amp tubes are, but you're not going to get the same
type of power tube
as you would have in the real thing. But they sound really good.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a small thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like saying.
Yeah, the difference in tone between an EL34 and a EL84 is not like night and day. It's not how everyone thinks it is.
No.
The preamp circuit is way more important with that.
Mm.
Never tried. I might have tried one in guitar when I was going through them. But I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, a lot of people would prefer an AC20 over an AC30, I would say. So your Morgan AC20 over a Vox AC30. I think it's a better built amp, to be honest, because it's a hand built amp as opposed to something that's made in the Far East. David Ashcroft, thank you, David. He said some beer tokens for the refreshment fund. Cheers, David. Very kind.
Very kind, sir. Very kind in dealy do. Boom.
Jonathan, he says, "I took the Luke out of its case today, set it up again, neck pickup. There is no comparison." Holy!
I'd love a Luke.
He's selling. I think Jonathan was selling his Luke.
I'd sell a lot of guitars to get a Luke.
Yeah, there you go.
Got a lot of guitars to sell.
You should do it then. I would rather have one great guitar than 5 average guitars.
Oh yeah, I could see from here 1, 2, 3, 6 guitars that could go easily in a heartbeat.
Nice. Front row says, "I'm using 2 Boss Katana Mark II 100s in stereo with the GAFC. I love the huge stereo sound. I never realized there was a new GAFC EX until I seen Paul use it. Your videos patches are fantastic, Paul. Cheers, front row." Yeah. The EX is quite an improvement. Max, titanium trim blocks is where it's at. But there you go.
Nice
guitar Max got there. Curtis says, "Chris Williams, I love my Katana 50 Mark II, but 2 things. 1, stock sounds are nasal. I need the software to tweak that out. The amp is front and center. Mistakes are not subtle."
Why are the presets always so?
I don't know. I really don't know. But this is not just Boss. This is like
presets. Full stop are always at best naff.
Not the so the only thing you can plug in and guarantee great sounding presets is the Axe effect.
Yeah.
I do not know. It's bizarre, isn't it? It's bizarre.
Yeah. Do you remember the art? Was it the RS 2000?
I don't think
200?
any art stuff could. I don't think there's any amount of presets or anything that could help that thing.
I remember there was a ready color, ready purple thing that was 2U.
Yeah, that was their flagship one. It
Yeah.
had a valve in it, I think.
Yeah.
Shocker.
And
It had no touch feel to it. It was just, it was so loose and oh god, it was horrible. Running that with the big pedal board with the two expressions.
Yeah.
I had all that gear.
Racks and racks of outboard stuff.
Yeah. Dave says, evening lads, hope you both well. Just got back from Lisbon for a week. Have you checked out the Van Halen Donington set just released on YouTube? No, epic.
Yes,
nice.
It's amazing. I was watching it the other day. I was demoing to some. They said, why? I was trying to explain sample rate and bit depth, and they said, well, what happens when it goes wrong? So I played him the Van Halen when jump was at the wrong speed.
So, God, that was so painful, wasn't it? If anyone's seen that video,
that's your front of house engineer loses his job, doesn't he? That's one of those moments.
Oh my God, that was so embarrassing, wasn't it?
Poor Eddie's trying to play the solo with the arm, tremolo arm bent up to try and be in tune.
No, so who's playing guitar on this one?
This is from Donkeys ago.
Oh, it's Donkeys, is it? Well, we're talking about the Donington set, not obviously that studio recording, the TV studio recording that you're talking about.
Well, that was a gig. That was a live gig I'm talking about.
No, it wasn't. That was a TV show.
Oh, it's happened twice. It's happened twice then in that case because this was a big stadium with people in.
Twice. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'd think that sort of mistake only happens once, wouldn't you?
Yes. No,
the Donington gig was. I saw Van Halen at the Milton Keynes Bowl, and Bon Jovi were headlining.
Mm-hmm.
Van Halen, I think, Thunder opened, then Van Halen, then I can't remember who else was on. Like 4 really top bands, and like Van Halen was second.
Damn nice.
And played to a half full Milton Keynes Bowl, but those who were there were definitely there for Van Halen.
Was Sammy Hagar or
David Roth? Oh, David Roth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, between his hiatuses to do his own thing.
Oh,
he's just a gigolo.
So bad. You watched some of those. I've watched some of those recently. Some of the of Davey Roth videos with Steve Vai, and it's embarrassing to watch. It's cringeworthy, isn't it? It's like the mincing and prancing around that. Around the. Oh, it's awful. It's so bad.
It was of its time.
It was of its time. Good chat tonight. Let's like and subscribe. Cheers, Shep. So yes, it really does help us, guys. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks, Shep, for reminding. Really, really, really does help.
And if you can do both channels, that'd be lovely. TSR, Jivey Talks Tech. Please, please, please. I'm happy to beg. I am that cheap.
Do you know what though? And how long have we been doing this live show?
Since COVID. So at least 3 years now.
So 3 years we've been doing this. 3 years. And okay, so it gets on average, I think in a week, I think it does about 1,000 views, a bit more maybe. But there's never more than 100 people watching at a time.
No.
And I don't know what we're doing wrong. I don't know if it's the time we're doing it, if it's us or whatever, but it's never more than 100.
It's us. I would say it's a select crowd.
A select crowd, yeah.
A select crowd. What time does TPS do theirs?
5.
I know it's different.
5.
I know it's different.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, I would say it's even worse for the States because they're still.
I mean, I know they're brilliant. The guys, Mick and Dan are brilliant, but they've got they get the numbers.
They certainly do. Boom.
Curtis, thank you for answering my questions. Got to get my runt from school. Thanks for the hang. Anytime, Curtis. Shep done. There we go.
Done.
Cheers, Curtis. Lord Brancy, answer to John Randall. Cranked master gives better tone. I spent a couple of hours experimenting with this and hired in a hired church hall. Master cranked, hands down the winner. I couldn't agree more, but I couldn't agree more. But you're in a cranked church hall, cranking it up. Very different bedroom volumes, which I think is what John was talking about.
Yeah.
Oi, hello from Max. I find it interesting. Your brief chat on gain stage choices left out the guitar volume.
No, I think we definitely mentioned guitar volume.
When we talk about gain stages,
well, as in gain up, gain down, master volume. You know that.
I'm completely confused. When do we even? And have I completely missed something tonight?
We didn't use the word gain staging because we didn't. As in saying if you want distortion tone at the same volume, it's gain up, volume down. If you want clean tone, it's gain down, volume up to get the same tone. That's what we're talking about, gain staging.
Okay, left out. Guitar volume's always up. Crank it up to 10. Never touch that thing. That thing never gets 10. No, you're right. No, the only thing that the guitar, the volume control on a guitar is useful for is zipping back in between songs.
I would agree. I did watch a Master Bonamassa video the other day.
What is he?
And I went, and he had a Les Paul Burst. Of course, he did, one of 7, and
different on Les Paul. Completely different on Les Paul because you can basically have a cranked amp, but that's a different thing. You can have like a really distorted amp, and then have the neck pickup, the volume rolled back so it's clean, and then you can switch down to that. You switch down to the bridge position with the volume. Absolutely, that's a different thing. We're not talking about sort of dynamics and stuff.
No, and I mean, I heard Gary Moore do it with the Les Paul and went, "Oh my God, you've turned those 2 Marshall TSLs into a super clean Fender tone just from the guitar."
Absolutely.
At this point,
Big Wave Dave. Here's Big Wave Dave. He says, "I have a Marshall Origin 50. Am I missing out as far as OG Marshall?" I think I really wouldn't worry about it, mate. I think you're always going to think that it's like someone owning a Mexican Fender,
yeah,
and thinking, "Oh, maybe I should have an American, or I should have a custom shop and all that." No, I think you're going to get some great tones out of that.
Those Origins sound. What was Greg's one? Was Greg's an Origin
20? I think
20.
20.
That sounded great cranked.
Yeah, they're great.
Marshalls need to be cranked. That's not. That's. I think that's very much yours and my opinion, is it? A Marshall sounds better cranked.
Without a doubt. A Marshall sounds like fizzy and crap when it isn't cranked.
If the master, I mean, we discovered on the 2 JCM 900s, didn't we? If the master volume is up around 11, 12 o'clock, that's kind of the peak, the prime spot for it.
Oh yeah, you can push it too far and it just ends up like a flubby mess.
Check out our video. I think it's called something like "What Happened When We Turned a Marshall 100-watt amp up all the way."
Yeah, it is.
There is definitely a sweet spot.
But anyway, again, going back to Dave, I think sometimes you would think, it's the same thing. So the Origin is a PCB amp. I think it's made in Vietnam. I think. So then you might go and buy one of the new Studio series.
Yeah.
Again, it's still PCB, but okay, it's made in the UK. It's still more or less the same thing. And then
the circuit's mostly the same. The components are the same. The circuit's mostly the same because it's Marshall.
So then you get one of those and you go, well, actually, I want a hand wired Marshall. and you can keep going up and up and up, and again, the differences are very, very small. Like we're talking about the whole sort of audio file stuff.
Yeah,
I think you've got a nice amp with that Origin 50. Get the most out of it, and
get a low box. It will sound better.
Yeah, definitely get a load box. Yeah.
Hey.
Moxie, thank you, sir. He said, "What's the best way to route configure my ToneX and console setup for Zoom 1-to-1?"
I think he means ToneX.
No, I think he means Twin. I think he means his UAD Twin.
Ah, okay. Twin. Yes, Twin. Yes.
Twin and console for Zoom 1-to-1. Is it? What's it for? What are you trying to use at the Zoom, Pet? You trying to do a video, just like a voice, a voice thing, or are you playing guitar on it as well? Am I reading this wrong, James?
Well, best way to root configure my Twin. There's quite a lot of variation in there. If you mean twin as in UA twin and the console, say is it for voice only or is it for guitar?
I got it. I think okay. What you want to do is route your computer audio to your
use one of the virtual channels.
Yeah, use your virtual channels on the so your computer audio goes to the virtual channel, so then you can control the level coming back at you of what you're hearing. So, for instance, that Zoom call or that if it's a guitar teacher, for instance, you can turn that up and down to your taste. Yeah. So virtual channels are your friend. They're brilliant inside.
That's exactly that's exactly the phrase I was going to use. Virtual channels are your friend.
Yeah, they are brilliant. It's a brilliant thing that UA did with that. Yeah, give us a shout, Pat. If you get stuck and you want to do more into it, just give me a call and we'll go through it. Lord Branston, I'm going to buy one of your ToneX packs in the next couple of days. Which one contains the best singing lead tone, in your opinion? Depends what you mean by singing lead. I would always push the matchless pack, and that is
really good.
That is the most popular one, and it covers everything to me. And the matchless is probably the most sort of boutique amp that we've got in there. The other pack, which is coming out tomorrow, is the divided by 13 pack. Funny enough, Lee came over and I gave him some of the patches, and one of his favorite lead tone was the divided by 13 with the Strymon Riverside pedal going into it.
Nice. Well, at this point, then, shall we pause for the news, and we can talk about?
Yeah, I've got some gear to show as well.
Right. Well, but let's do the ToneX thing, because so the new ToneX pack, we've got 5 new packs coming out tomorrow.
Okay.
Which is quite exciting. And again, our take on it is very much, let's find an amp that we really like and then pair it with some of the pedals we really like, but only the ones that really work with that amp. It's not just like, we've got 15 distortion preamp pedals, we're gonna use every single one, because not every single one works with every single amp. It just doesn't. So the ones I've done the Cornford Harlequin.
Nice.
Which, to be fair, sounds amazing. There's a couple that I'm going to refer to as naked without any pedals, because it just sounds great as an amp in its own right. And then I think there's 10 in the pack, with various pedals and stuff that I really like that sounded really good. There's also your JTM.
Should I bring that up and then you can see it?
Yeah, totally.
Well, there's some of the new. No, it's pointless bringing that up. No,
yeah. So we've got the JTM pack, which has got another 10 different pedals and JTM settings and stuff, which is really nice. We've got hello, where's it gone? Where'd it go? Where the heck did that go?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's
fine. There's the Chandler pack, or I think we called it
Gavin.
Gavin.
Yeah, Chandler GAV19T,
which is amazing. And then we've also done a bass pack as well, which is.
Did you say the divided by 13 pack?
I haven't done that. Haven't said that yet.
Sorry.
Divided by 13 pack, and there is a bass pack which has got bass settings for the bassman in the bass channel of the bassman and the Dark Glass Alpha Omega.
He's
No, back now. Back now.
There we go. Right.
Dark Glass Alpha Omega, and it's awesome.
Awesome. Enough of a shilling. Let's do the news.
Yes, indeed.
Let me show.
What are you going to show your new stuff first.
Okay. Yeah. So
oh, that looks nice. What is it?
This is it's the company's called CKK. And it's the SHXC, which is basically their clon. So taking the clon to a next level.
Nice.
And it is really good. It's really, really good. The only downer is, I would say, is that I want two. Because I want one as a boost, one like that.
Right. Yeah.
And one as a drive like that, because it's like the most versatile pedal. It sounds great as a boost, and just it goes all the way up to sort of Marshall high gain. But it's based on a clon, so it's like it's really, really good. So I tried. That's the video I tried recording today, but literally every time I open my mouth, it was from the workman. And the other thing, which literally just arrived before the show started, is the it's the Walrus Audio Slower. So I've got to do. I'm doing a video. There's a reason why, and I can't tell you yet, but it'll come out next week. It's an ACS one video, and I'm going to pair it with this.
Nice.
And yes, I'm quite excited about that, because it's like their ambient reverb. So that'll be. I like ambient reverbs.
I'm just gonna throw this in because it's relevant.
Oh, thanks, Neil. He said, do you have the make rusty fingers play like butter patch? Very good. Very good.
Nice. Very nice. Right.
Yes.
Talk to us about cool stuff.
Okay, let me have a look. Let me present. Share screen. So I don't know why you need a running commentary of this. There we go. Right.
So boom.
So Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember these?
Yes.
So do you remember there was the Jackson version, there was the Charvel version as well.
Yeah.
So Jackson Custom Shop are releasing these. They're cool, aren't they? I like the little relic jobs on them. It's the SL Soloist 3 SV. So 3 single coils, although it's not. I think it's a JB Junior in the bridge. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a JB Junior?
Looks like it.
Yeah, it's one of the, it's like one of the mini Seymour Duncans. Oh no, it's a ST59. Oh, nice. The only thing for me, I don't want the Floyd Rose.
Is it wrong that I quite like the pink one?
No, I don't think so. I like for me, it's the it's the seafoam green and the blue. I think they look great.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they look great.
So Fender Custom Shop, $5.5 grand. Sorry, Jackson Custom Shop, and I'm doing all Freudian slits because basically Jackson is Fender, isn't it?
Yeah.
5.5.
Ouch. 5.5
of your billions. That's that. Gibson have released the Greenbacker pickups.
$1 million.
Well, no, it's $299.
That's a lot.
Made in collaboration with it's basically Kurt Hammett trying to pay off his eye-wateringly expensive guitar.
How can Kurt Hammett need to pay off anything?
No, well, it's a joke, but it's.
I know.
So yeah, the only thing about it, I'm guessing it's all wired for that sort of out of phase sound, and I'm not really into that, to be honest. But
I didn't get out of phase until I did a gig with a guy in a band,
yeah,
and he had a Les Paul.
yeah.
And if I said, and he put in it 2 joysticks
Oh my god,
from
Jesus!
a
I
Roland D50,
can't believe some of these guitar players used to
right?
play with.
Right, and he basically could do on the joystick. He could go single coil humbucker, in phase, out of phase, and he could do it for either. It was ridiculous. I was like, if you were really, really good, I'm sure you'd make it work with like, an Eddie Van Halen one pickup in a guitar, and it would still sound great. But it's painful.
Yeah, no, that sounds stupid. So I'm guessing this is what I can't remember who said, but Rick Beato's got a new color guitar out. I thought this was going to be a limited run, so they brought out the Pearl and Blue one, and now they're bringing out the red one. They did really well last time, so I'm not surprised he's doing it again. Price wise, let's have a quick look. $2,000.
My problem is, and it's probably sour grapes, and if it is, I'm really sorry, Rick, but I just don't get it.
What don't you get?
Why?
I'm sort of with you on that. I mean, he's obviously he's obviously a good guitar player and all that, but you don't know him for his guitar playing. You know him for his
channel.
For him chatting to other people and also moaning about how he can't use other people's songs. But
I just don't get it.
I mean, he's a great player. He's a great player, isn't he? So
I suppose people could say that about us having a Studio Rats custom amp. I suppose.
I guess there you go. Same. It's all the same thing.
I suppose. I just find it weird. That's all.
Yeah. It looks all right.
It does look a bit like it's that kind of standard Gibson red finish.
No, it's not. No, it's metallic red. It's like almost like the
it's like a solid. It's not like Angus Young red.
No.
Oh, I haven't seen it close up.
Okay, it's burgundy, but metallic.
I'd have to call it a Ron guitar.
A Ron?
Yeah, burgundy.
Oh, very good. So yeah, it's all right. It's got $2,000's a lot of money.
It is.
Anyway, Ross are back.
They are. I saw this and thought that's interesting. I like that.
So
with a little help from JHS and a few other brands have all just gone, yeah, let's bring them back.
Oh, really? So yes. So there's the Ross. I mean, not that. I'm not going to rush out to go and buy any.
Not going to Ross out.
Yeah, no, I'm not too bothered about it, to be honest. And then UAFX have brought out some new pedals. So as opposed to their sort of larger format pedals, which have lots of features, that they've brought out a simple sort of one pedal design. So they've got a tape echo, they've got a plate reverb, they've got a studio reverb, which is, I guess, is going to be like the Lexicon 224.
Yeah.
That one I'm quite excited about. And they've got 1176. To me personally, I don't know why you've got to put, when there's companies like Origin Effects doing 1176 style pedals, and there's other companies as well, why we need a digital 1176 on our board. But everything else, I guess, I get why it's digital.
I just think that when I saw it was 1176, I thought, oh my God, even the company that brought us the 1176 are making another 1176.
But it's a digital 1176. I don't know. It's all good stuff, and it's nice that their pedals are doing well, and I can see a lot of people using these. And lastly, Strymon brought out the Deco plugin.
No, I like the Deco hardware plug. I like the Deco pedal. It's great.
Well, they are then. So if you like the Deco pedal, it's pretty much exactly the same. So handy for your DAW sort of business.
Yeah, nice.
Or you can go and buy the pedal for 430 quid. You can go and buy the and the Deco plug-in 79.
Yes.
Pretty good, I would say.
Nice.
And me done.
Awesome. At this point, I should do this.
Ah, the Oversouls. Thank you so much. He said, Paul, do you still have that PRS studio? I don't, actually. They start at 4 US. Woof. And go up from there. Do you think it's worth it? That's a lot of money. I've got to be honest. That is a lot of money. I would. Oh, I think there's so many guitars you can get for that. The only thing about the studio, and it's a really good guitar, I think the humbucker on it sounded amazing. It had that low LT 95, 50, 57 something LT pickups that they were brilliant. The only thing for me is the narrow field in the middle position because it's an arched top or a carved top, I should say, on the PRS.
Pickups in the wrong place, isn't it?
It's too close to the strings.
Yeah.
So if you're anyone that likes to dig in a little bit, you're banging your pick on that. If you have to adjust your picking, which to me is why the PRS sort of double humbucker guitars work so well, because you don't have to do that. It's a lot of money. If I had that money, would I buy one? No.
Okay. Right. We have got a lot to get through in 40 minutes.
Okay. Let's do it.
Reset. Go.
Anista, about how much do you think the corner of the Studio custom amp will be? That's a really good question. And James
give us a couple of weeks, and we'll know a bit more.
So many discussions, because it's okay. I'll just explain quickly. It all depends on if we can deal with the distribution or if it goes into shops. If it goes into shops, this is what happens, you see. And I didn't realize this. Shops need to, obviously, I know that shops need to make their profit, but you can't sell directly for cheaper than the shops, because that's going to piss the shops off. Personally, I would rather sell it cheaper and sell it direct. But there's all sort of decisions that have got to be made over this.
I've got someone I'm speaking to in the US, because obviously the US is going to be our biggest market. I'm talking to about import type stuff, and he might be quite interested as being the US import agent for us.
Awesome. Well, that's great news. I don't think this is going to be like a massive money making thing for James. It's not at all. I'm also going to use the word vanity project, because I'm really not. It is almost a vanity project. I'll give it that.
I don't think. I think it's. I mean, look at me and me getting all corporate. It's something I've always wanted to do. Something I've always wanted to achieve. And if we can do something that other people like, then fantastic.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be ace, because I've already heard it and gone, wow. Here we go.
Straightforward. Excuse me. I'm getting tired. But Dean Guitars catching up so much heat lately and likely going out of business soon. Is it worth to hold on to mine strictly as an investment or just sell it? I hate the guitar personally. Yeah.
Don't like it, get rid of it.
Hold on. I mean, if it's likely that Dean, I don't know anything about Dean Guitars going out of business, so I'm not a massive Dean fan. If you've got like a Dimebag Darrell Dean, I think it's probably worth holding on to as an investment. Other Deans, I'm not sure about. I don't think they're that popular, to be honest.
No. I would say Soap Forge, you've been watching too much KDH.
So what he said. He said they're going out of business. Okay.
They're clearly in trouble, and Gibson have been gunning for them over the designs and stuff. So,
of course. SGX 2000 was the art.
One.
Yeah, that's right. Funky Bass. I've spent the last 4 days rewiring my studio. Only finished it before the live stream started, but frustratingly, not everything works. And so troubleshooting is next on the agenda. It does take so long, doesn't it?
Oh God, doesn't it? Yeah. When I do mine, I have everything switched on so I can test as I go.
Good idea. That's a really good idea.
And just keep everything muted that you don't need and test as you go.
Good move. Finger blasting for dummies. Higher finger blasting. Jonathan says, I was at Donington 84. Eddie stood to the side of the stage where Gary Moore played What a lineup. I lost 50 quid that day. If anyone picked it up, let me know.
Now 50 quid's worth about 25p now.
Yeah. Jonathan McCulloch, thumbs up and subscribe, everyone. Thank you, Jonathan. Yes, please, guys. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. Thank you so much.
The other channel.
And well. Jay Wright, greetings all. Greetings, Jay Wright. Neil says, grateful to catch you even only for the last few moments. Cheers, Neil. We've still got for half an hour, 35 minutes to go.
Yep.
The Oversouls. Hello from New Mexico, USA. Love your show. Cheers, the Oversouls. Guess that's a band name. Go and check them out, everyone.
Yep.
Davis, just sub to your second channel, TSR. Jivey Talks Tech. There you go.
There's an E in there somewhere, but I'll forgive you.
Noise Bloom. When TPS is live on Monday, it's typically 9 a.m. here in California. There we go.
So interesting, Noise Bloom. Is that better for you or worse for you?
Yeah, interesting. Come on then, let's get through them. Jonathan says, Max Hodges, you need to go back on with the gents, my friend. Live improv.
Yes, Max has joined us from time to time.
Al says, I saw Van Halen support Bon Jovi in 1985 with Ugly Kid with ugly band called Crown of Thorns. Crown of Thorns, I remember them. That was the moment I realised this is a job for me, life-changing gig. Oh, then nice. Nice one. State Forge on the
first day of Christmas. No, maybe
not. Mendel says, evening all. I noticed Zinky Blue Velvet amp on eBay. Might be of interest. I don't know Zinky Blue Velvet. Maybe it's Zinky amps. A Blue Velvet Zinky Blue. I don't know. I don't know anything about Zinky amps.
Nice.
Let's
check that bad boy out.
Yeah. Lord Brancy, I've only just discovered your Q&A. I hope it suddenly takes off. Thanks, mate. I learned so much. Deserves way more than 100 real-time views. Thank you so much.
We think so too.
Yeah, it would be nice if it did do better. Max says, I have to do another video for illustration of volume pot use. There are absolutely useful workable methods. Most of my ludicrous long online videos involve control of dynamics and tone. There we go. Max says there's a reason Eddie Van Halen only had a volume pot and labeled it tone.
Yeah, there's a certain argument to that.
But he only had that one pot, so that's very different.
Yes,
it's a very different thing. Jonathan McCulloch, why would anyone want a high-powered amp sweet spot in the lower range? Why would you want a high-powered amp sweet spot in the lower range? That's true. That's very
watch the video we did on the Marshall 100 cranked, because quite literally when the master was at 12 o'clock, that was the sweet spot. You pushed past 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock and then to 5 o'clock. It didn't get any louder. It just got more saturated. It didn't get nice. The sweet spot was between about 10:30 to 12 o'clock on the master volume pot. I don't know why. It just was.
Jonathan says Metallica use fractal. Huge room for discussion.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are so many bands now that are using,
loads of use fractal. Fractal stuff's great.
And for a while, it was you used your head and your fractal was all your effects. Now there are bands that are using fractal for everything, preamp, everything, the whole shebang.
Yeah. Pet says, "Cheers, you both read my mind." There we go.
We're on it.
Jonathan says, "I'm not a fan of Metallica or the sound engineers." There we go.
Yeah, but someone needs to say to Kevin Shirley that bass guitars do exist. Controversial.
No, but that wasn't his choice.
No, but if you listen to any Dream Theater that he's mixed, there's no bass in that either.
Oh, really?
He doesn't like bass.
Oh, he does. I just heard David said. I just heard that Zoom has changed its rules to now they own all the content that is recorded on their platform. Just heard that Zoom has changed. Oh,
well, that's going to finish their domination of.
That's a stupid move, isn't it?
That's going to finish their domination of online meetings, then, isn't it? Because the reason people left Skype in droves to go over to Zoom is because there was a security leak on Skype, and everyone went over to Zoom or there was some kind of back door that you could get into people's Skype accounts and listening on stuff. So everyone went over to using Zoom. Now, if Zoom is now going to say, well, we can use everything that's on our platform, everyone's going to abandon Zoom.
That's a stupid move, isn't it? That's
very silly. Everyone will start, someone else will pop up and start that they'll be the new Zoom. Because Zoom only appeared. I remember Zoom taking off because of COVID.
Yes, definitely. Right, let's get through these. Let's get through them.
We're there.
Jonathan, I like Metallica. Most pros use at work. Second, their sound is so drenched in processing that the synthetic tones would mix well. There we go.
Yeah,
I like fractal stuff. I think fractal sounds great.
Yeah.
Just popping in say hello, says Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
Neil says Dave Bros heard the same. It was an updated terms that appears to have kept the most worrisome parts. Interesting. Hi, Johnny MCC. How are you? There we go. I hope you're well. First sit down midweek weddings. Who invented them? Wow, midweek weddings.
So this company I've just hooked up with, this agency, all their gigs are midweek.
We're not getting through these questions, are we?
It's awesome. We are. We're getting there.
I've been all in for the Cornford Harlequin pack. There we go.
It sounds really good.
There we go. Finger blasting. Has Lee managed to remove his foot from his mouth after his modeler ran the other way? It's nice for people to have different opinions and stuff, and
all opinions are welcome.
Absolutely. Shiny. Michael Vondernoff says, "Evening guys, first question: Ibanez 850 OD or a Big Muff?" Don't know the Ibanez 858. I've got a Big Muff and I never use it. It's just so flubby.
I've got a Big Muff and I have to wind it back so far to make it something I like. It's like, yeah, I'd rather have a fuzz face.
Yeah.
Actually, all those
fuzz face, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Fuzz face. But it's a different sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the Ibanez. It's if you like Big Muffs, you like Big Muffs. I think that's if you like them.
You cannot lie.
Moaning's a polite word. Who's moaning? Yep.
A while ago.
It's a jobby.
Finger blasting. I really hope you're Scottish because I can imagine you going, "Beto is a jobby."
I love that word. I think job is such a great word. Curtis says, Kurt Hammett, when you're the second best guitarist in the group and yet the lead guitarist, lol. Do you know what? I heard him. I've always not really liked him. Liked his playing. And then I heard him the other day do something and he was awesome.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes there's certain things that he can do. He's great.
The problem is I heard Dave Mustaine the other day and went, "Oh, you're not that much better either."
Oh no. Dave Mustaine's it's unusual. But hey, look, they made more money than we've ever made out of music. So
by a factor of about 10 million.
Yeah, it's easy for us to sit here and go, "Oh, we don't like them," but
armchair critics and all that.
Absolutely. Neil Conway, but it goes to 11. Absolutely.
Oh.
Michael Vonhoff, analog and digital have both their purpose and strong points. Absolutely.
Definitely.
David says, I can't type and should just quit. The Beato, what? Who wants that? Another Gary Moore, please.
Yes, please.
The Eversols, thanks. Yeah, they should do another Gary Moore, shouldn't they? They should release that and give some money to his estate.
We don't do that.
I don't think we did. Cheers, Mr. McQuillan. Go and check out his plectrums, everyone. Highland Plectrum Company on Reverb. You'll have a lovely time. Johnny Love, Beato has the views, and then if just a small fraction of those people buy a signature guitar, ka-ching! Big YouTuber is another kind of hero to young players, I presume. E.g. Pete Thorne too. Yeah, but Pete Thorne's a different level as far as I'm concerned. Pete Thorne is
monster player.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Rick Beato isn't a great player. He is, but I think Pete Thorne
is probably one of the best rock guitar players.
I think he's great. Yeah,
I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Scrunge. He says, biggest regret was not buying for £1,500 a Gary Moore signed signature Les Paul at Cumbria Guitar Show year before his death. Because it was signed on the flame front. Oh, man.
That was the one. That was the one. Because the guitar shop were from Cumbria. That was the one. That was the one I nearly bought.
Oh no, what's it worth now? Any similar?
Oh
Yeah, same one. Do you know what? Do you know what I would do? I would get that, and I'd get the signature off because the signature wouldn't bother me.
no, but
I hate guitars that are signed. I hate it because it's like it's proper fandom, isn't it? I hate that.
I still would. It's
No,
probably there are my 4 favorite guitar players, but my first 2 favorite guitar players that I loved from like 10 years old were Gary Moore and Eric Clapton.
There we go.
Both of those are the reason I play guitar the way I do.
There we go. Curtis, a thin Les Paul special. Yes, please. I like Rick Beato, but I would not buy the guitar unless it was something that I wanted. Too much dollars, but the guitar is up my alley. Nice.
It'll be a great guitar, I'm sure.
Yes, sure it would. Finger blasting KDH is doing great work. There we go.
He is.
Noise Bloom. TPS 9 a.m. on a Monday is actually okay for me because I can tune in while I work. There we go. Maybe we're doing something wrong. I have a Yamaha RG112, a precursor to the Pacifica 2P90 conversion. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say if you're going to start hacking a guitar about, make sure it's a guitar that you're not that bothered about. And a Pacifica, as good as they are, it's never going to be a super valuable guitar because there are billions out there.
Yeah, the RGs had the funny pointy headstock, didn't they?
Yeah. To look like
it's that cross between a Jackson and an Ibanez.
Yeah.
It was just slightly, yeah.
Nice though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's my sort of guitar, but I bet it's a great guitar, that.
Yeah.
KDH, life is going too easy. There we go. Funky bass. Rob, I can never pronounce his name.
Rob Trujillo.
Yeah, he's such a great bass player. How can you stop him being audible nuts? Yeah, it's
great bass. I love the fact that he also goes round on his yeah.
He's like, Lee says, according to Thorpe, John Petrucci is fully Axe Effects now. Mezza in his rig is just for show. I don't know if I believe that yet. There we go.
I think Messer would have something to say about that because it would find his endorsement deal rapidly ending.
Yeah, but if he's not using it, if he's using Axe Effects,
much
easier to take around an Axe Effects than it is a whole Mezza rig.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, G? From Bush. Jonathan McCulloch, I should say, guys, bells and whistles all day. There we go. I don't know why. Is there something happening today? It's bells and whistles.
Don't know.
Curtis, 12 o'clock on a 100 watt 4x12 is still apocalyptic.
It's beyond apocalyptic. Watch the video we did. It's hilarious. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. He's a jawbee. Sorry about the accent. I'm very sorry.
Funky bass, pedal order question. I have an envelope filter, wah, fuzz, and overdrive. Would that make sense in that order? I have an envelope filter, wah, fuzz, and overdrive.
Yes.
Fuzz is susceptible to buffers and wahs. Yes, if it works for you, it works. I would try it. Why not try it the other way around? Try the fuzz at the front and see if it sounds any different. Lee says, in my opinion, was about the business model, not the ToneX itself, which is awesome. There we go. Anissa says, do you still have the Quad Cortex? Would finally release a desktop editor this month. Would you review it? We don't have one. I do keep thinking about them to see if it has improved.
I keep thinking, is it worth another go? But then another valve amp comes up that I think I'd rather have that.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Possibly at some point. No, I haven't got one at the moment. Possibly at some point. Refuzz, that's where Max's comment about guitar volume comes in. That's very true, actually. You need it down around half of the fuzz to turn to the Hendrix sound. That is very true.
Yeah.
Bogeyman, member for 7 months. Cheers, Bogeyman. Got gas, jam pedals, boomstick, or earthquaker plumes. Oh my god, that is.
I'd go plumes purely because I've used your plumes and love it.
So yeah, the booms is very different to the plumes. So the booms is a boost pedal, and plumes is a tube screamer type pedal.
Yeah.
Really good. Both really, really good. The Boomster and the Earthquake Devices Black Eye Boost are more sort of similar. But if you're going to buy one, there's so many questions. Like, are you using a valve amp?
Come on, one or t'other, jam or
okay. Well, without knowing his gear, I'd say get a Plumes because it will work with everything. If you get like, for instance, if you use digital gear and you put a boost pedal in front of that, that might not be so good. Big Muff is the reason that I thought that I hated fuzz. Fat and flubby. David Brose, my family has told me they're tired of me using the term stonking and great shout and wonder where I got it from.
Guilty as charged, my lord.
Oh, yes. Neil Conway, I love Big Muffs and I've had a few. Reminds me of the 70s. There we go.
Hey, there it is.
Some people love them and that's brilliant.
Oh, come on, pick up on it.
I love it. Oh, I see. I get it. I get it now. Very good. No, they weren't good times for that, were they? Oh, Haggis, anybody? Is that what we're just talking about?
Yeah.
Jonathan says, Paul, there definitely is an argument for guitars that are signed or endorsed by an artist. Your guitar, more often than not, has a logo on the headstock or pickups. This goes on and on. I don't like it. I just don't like that. I just don't like, when someone gets a guitar. If I had any of my guitars, there's no way that I would go up to Eric Clapton if I had a Strat and go, "Can you sign it?" There's no way it would happen. There's no way. I wouldn't want his signature on my guitar.
I wouldn't have the nerve. I've been in a job where I was working with quote unquote celebrities, and everyone said, "Oh, you got their autograph?" No, I'm not a dick.
Yeah, I don't like it. Dave Rose, haven't bought ToneX yet. Where do you place it on your pedal board? Understanding that there isn't an effects loop. ToneX goes after your drives. So if you use drives, go after your drives. You don't have to use drives. You can do it all internally. And then your effects, your time-based effects, your reverbs, delays, that sort of stuff, go afterwards.
Yeah.
Funk bass, give it some beans. There we go. My RG headstock is almost like a Strat that lost a little round end. Fairly attractive, strangely enough. Oh, nice. Yes, they changed them. Bogeyman, thanks, guys. In front of the ToneX and TSR Maxis patch, we'll go for the Jam Booster. Yeah, nice. Yeah, just don't. You won't be able to crank it as much as you would going into a valve amp, but it does sound great going into the ToneX. I guarantee.
Cool. We're there. Well done, sir.
We did do it.
We did. So for those of you who are all ToneX'd up and stuff, and even if you're not, check out the IK Multimedia ToneX.
And there's free patches that come with all this as well, isn't there?
There are patches, the packs tomorrow, because there's 5 new ones coming from us, and I'm sure the other ToneX partners have got new stuff coming as well. It's very exciting. Bass players, check out our pack because it really is good. There's something in there for every genre. We'll be back with you next week for much more of the same. It's been a pleasure to hang with you all, as it always is. So for now, with my face that's actually starting to feel a bit more normal now, which is quite nice. We will see you next week. So goodbye from me.
And from me.
And take care, everyone. See you very soon. Good night.